guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're watching House of the Dragon. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are watching episode 5 of season 2 of House of the Dragon. Losing Rhaenys in the last episode hurt my soul. She's probably one of my favorite characters, and I think also that episode really showcased a lot of her character and who she was. And I hate when I really start to like somebody, because then I'm like, I'm afraid to lose them, or they're going to go through some major trauma. But you know, she very much showed that she is a good person when she meets Alan and she realizes that that is not only Corlys' son, which she knew about him previous, but that was the man that saved him. But then instead of doing like a Catelyn Stark where, you know, Catelyn really treated Jon horribly, which I don't know how a man comes home with a baby and says, he's my bastard, please accept him. So I like get Catelyn, but like at the same time, like she could have just tried. We say that in hindsight. I didn't like it when it was even showing, but Rhaenys really could have been like, your mother, you know, is a whore or something like that. And she was just like, your mother must have been a beauty. And I think that really just showed that, like, she's a good person. She's not going to take her anger out on somebody who does not deserve it. Alan had no choice in that matter. And she's not even really that mad at Corlys. She's more mad that Corlys didn't tell her that it was Alan, more so than anything. I really liked that moment from her. And I really liked her. I think the reason why I liked her the most is because she really wanted to help Rhaenyra, you know, be the queen of the Seven Kingdoms, and she was really supporting her and like what was taken from her all those years ago, and helping Rhaenyra on this. I think it just really showed that she could put aside her feelings to make other things happen. And I thought that was very beautiful of her. She will be missed. And the moment she had with Meleys before, and they kept turning around and going back, and they just knew that they were there to fight, and like that this might be where they meet their end, but they were going to do some damage. They did some damage to Sunfire. They did some damage to Vhagar. Vhagar's a big bitch though, man. She can take a beating. Sad moment. Now I do watch the after show after all is said and done, when I'm done recording. So they kind of confirmed Rhaenys is dead. They did not say anything about Aegon. So I don't know if Aegon's really dead. I don't know if Sunfire is really dead. He could be disfigured. We might have to put Sunfire down. That might have been what Aemond was going to go do when he had his sword drawn. Actually, he was sheathing it when Criston Cole walked up. I think. Now I'm kind of unsure. I don't know if he was going to kill his brother or not. I don't think he cared if he killed his brother, especially his brother, you know, being Aegon and who Aegon was towards him. They're both broken boys. I'm not giving anyone a pass, but I'm saying that Aegon is treated very poorly in the position that he's in by his mother, by his grandfather. Like, he was just kind of like not listened to. And, you know, the one thing that he had was, you know, this thing over his brother. So, you know, he was just like, oh, I get to make fun of my brother and there's nothing he can do about it. And, you know, Aemond isn't that guy. He's not that guy. You don't do that to him. You know, so if he lost Aegon in an air fight with the dragon, we lost Aegon. You know, Criston Cole is absolutely gutted at the idea of the king being hurt or killed on something that he put together behind the king's back with Aemond. And I think what's crazy about Criston Cole is that he has been failing up spectacularly. But in this case, I'm even more mad that he put this plan together with Aemond. And not because it was a success because of, you know, losing Rhaenys. It's because it was good. It was a good plan. And Aegon showing up ruined it. Now, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if Aegon is dead, and this is Aegon 2, so I don't know if Rhaenyra's Aegon is the Aegon that goes on to have an Aegon who gets his Aegon to have another Aegon who becomes the Mad King. I don't really know the lineage, but I don't think we're losing Aegon. And if we did, that would kind of be a shock, because I would figure that it would go quite some time with him. Now, I will say the next person in line is Aemond, who him and Daemon were absolutely terrifying as the idea of kings, because they would have a very firm hand. They would be very fierce and very scary. And at this point, I want Daemon because now he's older, he's wiser, he loved Viserys, he would want to do Viserys proud. But Aemon's like, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. So I don't know what happens now. Oh, there's so much, and I want to see everyone's reactions to hearing about Rhaenys, not only Corlys but Rhaenyra, who wanted to go in and wanted to fight, and Rhaenys saying no, I'll go. And this would have happened to Rhaenyra. I don't know if we would have had something different happen. I don't know if Syrax could take on Sunfire, if Syrax could take on Vhagar. Like I somebody said that Meleys could have taken on Vhagar because she's faster and smaller, so she would have been able to do more damage to where Vhagar's so big. Which he's so big, I don't know how he could possibly hide behind a tiny little castle. Here we are. But I don't know how that fight would have gone, but I don't think it would have been better. It might have been the same. So, I feel like Rhaenyra is going to feel that. And then, of course, Rhaenys' granddaughters, I don't know what Daemon's going to feel, if it's going to put a fire in his belly, because, like, they were kind of kindred spirits a little bit. They both knew what it was like to be passed up for the throne and to have, like, their I don't want to say that they're right to be king or queen, but, like that it was so easily discarded. And I don't want to say Viserys made that decision easily, but that he went for his daughter instead of his brother, and that, Rhaegar wanted Viserys over Rhaenys. It's a really hard thing to reconcile, I think. And so they were kindred spirits that way. And I don't know if they had gone off in the first episode to attack Vhagar, if they would have succeeded. I think those two dragons probably would have done some real harm. But they would have had to do it at King's Landing, and there's more dragons at King's Landing. So I don't know. We have to figure out what happened with Aegon. Alicent wasn't very nice to him, so I don't blame Aegon for wanting to leave and prove himself. I think it was stupid. Obviously, the result of it is less than desirable. But, if that family just learned to, like, give hugs and just say, like, I believe in you, maybe things would have been different. We kind of see Jace kind of, like, tell his mother, like, where have you been? Like, he has no problem, like, speaking to her that way, but then also being emotional around her as well. And I think that that's a beautiful mother-son relationship for sure. Okay. Oh, and Daemon, is over at Harrenhal just getting high on Weirwood? The freaking red tree, whatever it is. And the barn owl lady who is giving him good stuff. Alice, I think is her name. There's Alicent, there's Alice. Alan, Adam. I'm tired. There's a lot going on. And Daemon was trying to, like, get, like, the kid to, like, smother his grandpa so he could have control over his army, which I was like, that's not great. That's definitely Daemon just being like, come on. But, like, he's having a time. He's seeing some things, and the character growth we're getting out of him to see that he has regrets about Jaehaerys, and that he has, like, this thing with, like, seeing Rhaenyra, and like that he did have, like, this kind of, like, chip on his shoulder when it came to her, about being heir or named heir to the throne over him, and just their relationship. I don't know if we're going to get more of that, because he cut her head off and he was immediately regretful. And then she kept talking, so not getting rid of her so easily. But I want to see where that story goes. I hope that he gets pissed about Rhaenys. And I don't know if there's a fight headed to Harrenhal. I feel like they have taken away all of the ways to get to land by having Rook's Rest taken, so they have to come by air. We've already seen what happens when dragons are dueling in the air. It's not great for the dragons. It's not great for our families. So I am eager to see where this takes us. So guys, I'm not going to delay it any further. Let's get into it. Oh, now we have to see if anything changed. I don't even know what Harrenhal looks like on this damn thing. It's beautiful, but I don't know, it's like abstract art. I'm kind of like, what's that? Still the rat catchers. Nothing after that. Okay, maybe I didn't see it if it happened. I think Rook's Rest was kind of a big deal. The Brackens and the Blackwoods were a big deal, and it's not in there yet. At least I don't think it was. Oh, Corliss. I know, man. She was awesome. At least she died in battle like a badass.
Behold! The traitor dragon Maylis!
Oh my god!
Slain at Rook's Rest by your king! To Aegon!
And I'm back to hating Kristen Cole again. Ugh.
Mark my words, this is a black omen.
They love parading dead bodies in the streets, don't they?
Don't they realize we won the battle?
Strange victory, if it was one.
Ooh. Yeah, they don't know about the king. That's not Rhaenys, right? They're not trying to say that's Rhaenys. Is that Aegon? Was this in the book? Ah, oh, poor baby. But like, was this in the book? Were you guys expecting this to happen? Because that's awful. God, I hate these people. He does such a good job. I am terrified of him. Like, Aemond is so scary. He seemed like such a kid last season, and now he is legitimately a force to be reckoned with. What do you have to say? I want to hear it. Nothing. Damn. I wanted her to, like, foresee something. Yeah, you're kind of responsible for this, girl. Okay, he is still alive. Oh.
Is he alive?
His grace remains with us for the moment.
Is he gonna be disfigured? Scarred? Flame broiled? Oh, they have to cut the armor off. Oh. Oh no. Oh. He's not even flinching though. Oh.
Is my son going to die?
I'm afraid I cannot say. Now, if you'll excuse me, Your Grace, these next hours are most critical.
Of course.
Yeah, can we clear the room?
Someone will have to rule in his stead.
Yep. Guess who? Oh, I thought they were going to put lemons on his wounds. I was like, no, don't do that.
The king. Sir Kristen, what befell him?
You tell the truth?
His grace fought valiantly.
And Aemond? What was his part in this?
Big is what it was. It was big.
We still have no ground army but the one we hope that Daemon will raise. He who has left us after some marital spat.
Ooh, yeah, maybe she should go to Harrenhal.
Sir Alfred?
I could never doubt your capability or your quickness of mind. It is merely that the gentler sex heretofore has not been much privy to the strategies of battle or their execution.
There has been peace in our lifetime. You've seen no more battles than I have.
There you go. Thank you. I mean, can she go to Harrenhal and be like, Daemon, what's going on? It's important. Let's get it together.
'Twould be a victory in name only. They will soon prop up another in his stead.
Time
Yeah, you're losing control,
we
girl.
can strike King's Landing before their dragon is recovered.
Then I myself must do it.
My queen, you are the crown. It is out of the question.
What would you have me do?
Don't say nothing. That's what set Aegon off.
Jace?
Are these two betrothed? I forget.
Where are you going?
To Harriman Hall?
Someone needs to.
The Freys.
What about them?
They control the crossing at the Twins. If his men had a direct route into the Riverlands, we would not have to wait for Daemon to act.
True.
I will treat with the Freys to secure it.
Oh god, the
She won't like
phrase.
it.
Then don't tell her. Not until I'm away.
I feel like that's something you discuss with the Queen in committee.
Bend the knee to me, or your house burns.
I would sooner be the lord of bones and cinders than bend my knee before some heathen Blackwood.
This fight.
That is quite the impression, Lord Bracken. But alas, not an answer.
I love Daemon. I love Daemon. Just chilling on top of his dragon.
We choose fire.
Oh. Oh. Hi. Hi, baby. Did we get him?
I did not think they would be so eager to die.
Oh, he's so sad.
They would rather burn than succumb. Exactly the kind of men I need. Then perhaps you could try less fighting and more persuading.
They are unyielding in battle.
Another reason to have him on your side.
There are things the crown itself must not be seen to do. Show them your worst.
I am your servant, your grace.
What does that even mean? I have no idea what they were talking about. To persuade them? Like, kill them themselves? Without the dragon? I don't know. I don't know what just happened.
Do they hold you responsible for Rhaenys and her dragon?
I would rather they had. They speak around me, not to me.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with Aegon.
Kristen Cole made a mistake. Parading a dragon's head through the streets like a prize of war. But the people see an ill omen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, as do I. And you think they will turn to me?
The discontented, rumors are feed.
I like it.
Your Grace, what you cannot do, let others do for you. There is more than one way to fight a war.
Asaria has been coming in clutch.
You are very like her in some ways. And with her gone, I must rely on you, I think. Would you give this to your grandsire?
What is it?
I do not wish to stand alone.
Daemon.
Oh, here we go.
You were always the strong one. Viserys was unsuited for the crown. But you, Daemon, you were made to wear it.
Who is this woman? It's not Rhaenyra's mother that he's having fantasies about. Oh?
My favorite son.
Oh, what?
Is the duck not to your liking, Your Grace? There's also goose, if you prefer it.
Oh my goodness.
I like
This
the goose
castle,
myself.
he needs to get out of here. Jill, he's thrown off his game a little bit there. Yeah.
How does the work here progress?
The roof alone has needed tending since the reign of Rhaenys, and the storerooms and the Wailing Tower.
So much work to do.
The bats have made the corridors almost impassable with the quantity of
Their shit. Is there any gold left in your coffers?
enough to keep this small establishment, you see, fed and warm, relatively. I rather thought, Your Grace, as emissary to the Queen, that Perhaps she could provide the necessary coin, if you could only write to her.
No. Paranor is my command. I shall guarantee the payment myself.
Okay. He would rather make life harder than just ask Rhaenyra for help.
Very well, Your Grace.
You should address me as my king.
Whoa.
But you're the prince.
What would you call the husband of the queen?
Well, the king.
There it is, then.
Consort.
That last bit seems unnecessary, don't you think?
What is Daemon going through?
His Grace suffered grievous burns over much of his body. He has many broken bones. I fear there are more injuries within. I must admit, I'm not sure he will ever wake.
If he does, he's going to be in a lot of pain.
The Regency will assure the people of the stability of the crown.
Amen.
Did you have a candidate in mind, Your Grace?
Oh, if she doesn't say amen, he might just lose it.
The obvious choice is his immediate successor, Prince Aemond.
Aemond is young, and his lack of restraint has already cost us dearly.
It is experience that offers the surest path to security. Queen Alicent ably shouldered the duties of the realm when her husband's health failed him.
Experience is valuable, yes, but the Dowager Queen is a woman.
I am no stranger to all water sitting at this council.
It's a very uncomfortable episode for me.
Lord Larys.
I agree, Your Grace. It must be Prince Aemond.
Yeah. I hate it, but it has to be.
But the hand speaks with the king's voice, Sir Kristen. What say you?
Aemond is the next in line. It must be him.
He seems very sad about it. Not about Aemond, but about everything. Oh. Yeah. She should have just said it right at the beginning.
It's only a matter of time before he inherits his grandsire's mantle.
Tell me, Lord Strong.
Are you gonna lose it, Alicent?
The man who leaves the jewel.
Many are fleeing the city, spreading word of their fear and unrest.
You gotta take care of the small folk.
Then let the gates be closed.
They're gonna close the gates?
Save without consent. Go to your tasks. We shall meet again at first light. And someone cut down the fucking rat catchers.
I mean, yes. But also, yeah, the small folk, like, they're gonna rebel. It's gonna work, whatever Missario is talking about. Whether it's creating rumors or helping them.
Have you been paid for those machines you were forced to build?
The king has promised payment.
The king has lied. By all means, stay and wait for his empty promises, husband. With them you can feed the mouths of ghosts.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. Yeah, that had to happen. That needed to happen a long time ago. Oh, the puppy is still wandering around? Poor little guy.
What I saw at Rook's Rest.
What? What did you see?
Their armor melted. There were men walking, they were on fire.
It's traumatized. I would be too.
So you cast me aside?
Have I not spared you? What we must do now is terrible. Is this who you are, Alison?
I did not ask to be spared. And I did not give you leave to speak my name.
Cole is going through it. That is actually good to see. Oh, please make it out. Please make it out.
You cannot keep us here!
To return to your
homes! You want me!
Oh god. She is so pale. Is there a way to sneak out? Does he know a way?
Our hesitance does not lie in Rhaenyra as queen. Our fear lies in Vhagar.
Valid.
You fear a dragon, leagues away, when mine own sits outside your walls.
That does lend us some comfort. Though it occurs to me that dragons cannot be in two places at once.
Or three.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want?
They want him to stay there.
Larys Strong has been relieved of his castle. Does the Queen intend to raise up a new lord?
Mm.
You want Harrenhal?
Should he be doing this? I don't know if he can... If he can have this conversation.
What does her grace desire?
An army.
Bent knees.
Good job, Jace. You still have to worry about Daemon, but good job, Jace. So earlier, was he like imagining having sex with his mother? Is that what was happening?
You're born to wield a sword, but not so much an axe. Perhaps.
He's getting his hands dirty. It's awesome.
Splitting fire would justify what has followed you here.
Let it not be said that Daemon Targaryen failed to dirty his hands in this war.
Oh, let me see them.
There's news then.
No. What I hear in the wind.
Gosh, her eyes are so
Cry
intense.
of anguish.
Intense.
Children, their mothers, men, coming home to find their doors unlatched, their wives carried away.
War is a terrible thing.
Oh boy.
These are crimes against the innocent that any upright man would repudiate.
Yep.
Surely you haven't mistaken me for an upright man.
Fair.
And once again, in the name of power, it's the weak and the women who must endure.
I like her.
Is unlike to survive. The realm will suffer if Aemon One-Eye rules.
It already is.
But I'll cross you no further. I'm sure your tactics are, after all, approved by the Queen.
Whoa, the call out.
The people who support her will not be led by her. They look to a man for strength. When I take King's Landing, Rhaenyra is welcome to join me there and take her place by my side.
Oh, Daemon.
And if you lose?
Then I'll be dead, and none of this will be my problem.
It's a pity, don't you think, that you never knew your mother?
I didn't know that.
Fresh news from Stonehenge. The Blackwoods have overwhelmed the Brackens, and Lord Amos has pledged his banner to you. House Bracken is yours.
Whew.
Call Sir William here so that I might congratulate him. The Blackwoods will be feted in these halls.
That was a horrible way to get that, though. I didn't realize what he meant about indulgences. And I should have.
I imagine your Hall of Nine filled with lords and kings, all eager to treat with the legendary Lord of the Tides. I wonder if any of them knew it was all for her.
I love Corlys.
Queen Rhaenyra wishes to name you Hand.
That's what I thought was in the box. I didn't want to say it, though.
She was a Targaryen princess, the queen who never was, and she flew to Rook's of her own will, in defense of her kin.
And she died.
She died as she would have wished to die,
Mm-hmm.
with honor, in dragonfire. The way my mother chose. And the way I myself wish to meet my end.
Oh, I love this moment with Bela. I have cold chills.
Granddaughter. I would make you my heir.
I am blood and fire. Driftmark must pass to salt and sea.
Wow, I love that moment. Oh my god. I love Corlys already, but like Bela, wow, what a moment from her.
You were correct in saying our best hope of an army is with Daemon. I wish you to go to Harrenhal. I ask you to reason with him.
Fun!
Find out his state of mind and his intentions.
Oh, we know he wants to be king.
Whether he means to raise a host for me or for himself.
He would not dare.
If you knew Daemon to lack in daring.
He's daring now, currently.
Have you any message for him.
Tell him I would much like to finish our last conversation.
Okay, something. It's an open door. This place is so not good for Damon. It's just really not. He's already got all these demons that are literally wandering around him, but like in his head. Like his mother? Just... Who's he gonna see now? I don't know why I thought it'd be really dope if Patty showed up. Nope.
Is there some reason you feel free to wake a king in his bed? Or shall I
Oh,
now
boy.
begin your education?
The sacred septs on Bracken lands were looted and burned.
As were the fields and farms. What of common decency?
These beasts proudly carried the banner of House Targaryen. Red dragon on black.
Oh, Damon, you're just not making good decisions at all.
A terrible war is being fought in these lands.
Hey, girl.
Have you looked after our girls?
Mm-mm.
We should have expected nothing more from a man who ordered the slaughter of a child in his mother's arms.
I wouldn't say that to him right there.
That is a lie, and I will have the man who told it brought before me.
You might
Know
want to
this,
back up, lady.
We shall not raise our banners for a tyrant.
Proud of those people. I would have been terrified to speak to him that way. Yeah, we knew that was... Damon, you just don't make good decisions. Oh, great shot. Wonderful transition. Okay, we're gonna see what Massaria has up her sleeve. Because I know this isn't Massaria, it was the other girl that walked in the room, but like, what is she doing here? Spread rumors? Come on, Corliss, put the pin on. He's the man for the job. She's just been staring at the throne. Has he sat on it yet? Big moment.
Was it worth the price?
Can't hide anything from Helena. Oh. This poor child. Oh my gosh. I feel so bad for him.
What is the mood at the twins? Did his lordship quibble?
He wishes for the phrase to be granted Harrenhal.
I'm proud of you, Jace. You've done our cause a great service.
Then why do you look angry?
Because she feels useless.
Shall I fight for my birthright, or shall I wait here until we are all destroyed?
I get it. I get it. I get it.
I need dragons.
Mm-hmm.
We have two large enough to stand against Vhagar. They are called Vermithor and Silverwing, and they sleep just beneath our feet.
Yes, and if only they had riders, none could stand against me.
How do we find
I
riders?
go forth in strength and not from necessity.
Wait, would Corliss?
There is Rhaena.
Who nearly lost her life in her last attempt.
But Corliss's kids, bastards, whatever.
There are those of our line who never ruled, those who married into other noble houses.
Blood would be thin.
And yet,
The dragon will only accept a dragon lord to ride it. Are you suggesting we put a Malister on a dragon?
What's a Malister?
Tarly.
it's better than
Oh,
death and
got it.
defeat.
Never mind. You can try it.
There are records here, surely, of our line, and of those who fell out of it.
Good job, Jace.
There could be scores of them.
It's a mad sword.
It's being a Targaryen. Please don't end. I want more. Give me more information. Come on. Come on. Damn it. Okay, we got an episode of Aftermath. Yeah, everyone's kind of reeling about Rhaenys or about Aegon. I'm very sad about seeing Meleys and her head being paraded around. And it's really interesting because I think they thought this was going to be a grand moment, like, wow, we killed this dragon, and you hear somebody say that it's a bad omen, and even Rhaenyra says it's a bad omen, and I was like, was this in the book? Was this a scene in the book? Like, and I'm sure it was, because it seems like something that maybe a lot of you guys are probably waiting to kind of see what they would do about it, if they would actually do it. And if it's not, then that's a brave thing to do, to put in there, because that was breathtaking. As much as we loved Meleys, and then to see that, and then, you know, like even, and really, it kind of showed the small folk, like, one, like, the dragons can fall, you know, and that doesn't just hurt Rhaenyra, that also hurts Aegon. That also hurts Aemond, because now they're not seeing Vhagar maybe nearly as indestructible as they thought. And I absolutely loved that Jace really showed that he paid attention to his grandfather. Going to the Tullys, not the Tullys, going to the Freys, my goodness, meeting with them, and, you know, not necessarily promising Harrenhal, but, you know, if they bent the knee at the end of the war, they would get Harrenhal, and he's doing a good job. And I know Rhaenyra feels useless, and it was the same way that Aegon felt. And, you know, we saw the difference in results, though. Had she gone to fight, she could be in the same position as Aegon, right? And if she fell, Daemon definitely would take over. Daemon would not let Jace be the next in line. He would definitely be taking over, and he's already trying to kind of do that in a weird way. Like, I really still don't get what Daemon's doing, but whatever Daemon does, he just goes about it the wrong way. Whether it's like being the gold cloaks, or, you know, like, I feel like he would have pulled a move like the rat catchers, like hanging them all, you know, to like be like a show of strength, like don't betray your king. And then people are like, that's how you're going to treat us? Cool. And, you know, the people like coming to talk to him, and like, I was just like, I would not talk to Daemon that way. I would not talk to them that way. They do not care that he is Daemon Targaryen. They do not care. That woman going up to him and just like giving him the business, like, I was like, well, okay. Yeah, and I didn't get that when he was saying that, you know, like, essentially he was saying everyone has weaknesses, and, you know, you have to find their weakness. And I was like, well, I don't know what they mean by that, because rape doesn't come to mind. You know, brutality doesn't come to mind. I don't have a mind and heart like that. So of course my mind doesn't go there. And of course Daemon's does. And he's accepting of it, and he's willing to let, let's see, I can't remember if it's the Blackstones, the Brackens. I think the Blackstones, Team Black, Brackens, Team Green. But like, having the Blackwoods just handle it that way, you know, it kind of keeps his hands mildly clean. But in the end, not really. And it just shows that he doesn't make the right choices. And I don't know if it's Harrenhal that's messing with him, but like, having like a whole scene where he thinks he's like having sex with his mother. I don't know. I mean, I didn't realize that his mother, and maybe it was mentioned in the first season and I don't remember it, but that he never knew his mother. And, you know, like, I think he's wanting to hear like the one person that should care about him and build him up the most, which would be his mother, to say the thing like, I wish you were first. And that it was Daemon over Viserys. And I think that it's really starting to mess with him, and how he is treating Simon Strong, like, and how he's just like, and what is the husband of a queen? And he's like, king, consort, you know, like, oh, well, we don't really need to have that last part in there. It's like, well, we do. It's a very important distinction. And, you know, sending Alfred there, Sir Alfred, to talk to Daemon, I don't know if that's going to be a good or a bad thing necessarily. Her saying she wanted to continue their conversation, I think, is at least an open door. It's a willingness to have a conversation, even though she still wants to know, am I your queen and do you serve me? Or are you Daemon and you serve yourself? And I think that we're kind of seeing where he's going through those angel demon moments. But I really liked Alice calling him out and just calling him out on his brutality, and that it's the small folk that are paying and it's the innocent, and that it's, you know, harming the women. There was really an episode of like women taking the brunt force of war. And especially when it comes to the the Brackens and the Blackwoods, but then like seeing that they hold no really high regard in committee. You know, Alicent once was Queen Regent, and they're just like, oh, well, we need a show of force. Like, this is war. We need a man. And she's just like, what else can I do? You know, and Rhaenyra is sitting in her council, and they're just like, but you're gentle and you've never fought a war. And she reminds them, neither have they. You know, it's been a time of peace. It was peace with Viserys. So we're kind of seeing that a lot. And what I really liked is Massaria was just kind of like, well, you know what? Let's do things our way. And I don't want to say that manipulating the small folk is what she's doing, but making the small folk seem like, or think that Rhaenyra does care about them more than Aemond, for sure. Like, the doors being closed off, I forget the character's name, unless it's in the little captions. I forget, but his daughter is sick, and I get it. And they're gonna, like, especially being like held captive in King's Landing, not being able to leave. His daughter is sick. They have no food. Like, there's going to be an uprising, and there's way more of them than there are gold cloaks. And that's kind of what rulers need to remember. There's more small folk than there are big folk. And I feel like Daemon might be seeing that. It's funny how like both sides were mirroring each other a lot, of, you know, thinking that you can just toy with these people and that you're going to be seen as a fearful leader. You know, they're going to probably uprise against Aemond, and they're probably going to uprise against Daemon. And I think Rhaenyra and Alicent really are like the ones that are like now. Bela was a great surprise in this episode, not only for her talking to Jace, but talking to Rhaenyra about Rhaenys, and then also talking to Corlys. Like, she was a key player in this episode, and I really liked it. I really liked the expansion of her character, because, you know, she was just kind of a name, and I'm like, who is she promised to? Like, who's her betrothed? And like, I don't even know, but now I'm just like, when she says like, I'm fire and blood and you need salt and sand, or sea and sand, sea and salt and sea, you know, I think that's, I know that Rhaenys wanted Rhaena to be the heir, and she is not a dragon rider, so that would actually work out well. But I don't know if we're going to see Alan and Adam and them rise up. Now, Jace bringing up that there could be other dragon riders of different bloodlines that have branched off from the Targaryens and the Valerians, that's exciting. And that's kind of what I thought too, is I was just like, well, the bastards, you know, it's just like they still have that blood in them. And, you know, Rhaena seeing kind of like this hope that like that she might have found a way to like kind of do something, do her part in the war, which is to find these people to ride the dragons. I love that. And I don't like that she kind of was just like, oh, you want Rhaena to try again? Like, she was unsuccessful last time. I would want Rhaena to ride Sea Smoke. I really would. I think that would be amazing. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't know if Rhaena ever gets a dragon. I would love that. But, you know, seeing her in, and I keep wanting to call it the Vale, and I know it's the Eyrie, like the castle is the Eyrie, which is always just beautiful to see. You know, and seeing Lady Jane Eyre, and, you know, like the moments that we've had with kind of like these Targaryen, Valerian people with like the people that we know in the north. It's really interesting. And, you know, I know she was expecting 2 full-grown dragons, or at least a full-grown dragon. She got 2 babies. awesome eggs and, you know, some kids to take care of. I could see how Lady Jane Eyre would be a little bit upset about that position and want a full-size dragon. And that might happen with Sea Smoke. I don't know. I'm trying to find a way to get Rhaena a dragon and Sea Smoke to get a rider. It's really, that baby, he's just flying around, just, you know, just searching. Just restless. And can I just say too, is that like, I liked Corlys from the first season. I liked Corlys a lot. And I loved his love for Rhaenys. And he's just like such an emotional filled man. Like there's just like a heavy heart that is there. And him mourning Rhaenys and then, you know, not wanting to accept being the Hand and Bela really, you know, giving him the business. And I think that was probably one of my favorite scenes of the entire episode was Corlys and Bela, but like really Corlys being the Hand, best idea ever. Someone had mentioned in the comments, they were just like, why is Rhaenys wearing the hand of the queen? And I don't remember seeing that on her, but I was like, I always assumed that it was Corlys. And I guess I just was ahead of myself or something, but I think Corlys is like the best idea, and really he is the most respected. He is probably somebody that Daemon would listen to at least a little bit. I mean, might be able to rein in Daemon because they did kind of have that kinship bond in the last season. I think that Corlys is a really, really great hand. Oh, I keep thinking in my mind it's all coming together. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. We've got some great ideas. We've got a great start with Massaria, with Corlys coming, with trying to find dragon riders. I think that Rhaenyra like feels absolutely useless. She's restless. There's nothing that she can do. People aren't listening to her. She's never fought in a war, neither have they. But, you know, apparently they just are taught from birth how to, you know, swing swords and whatnot. But Cole being very jilted by what he saw, which, yes, war should not be something that you could easily get through and see and experience and not take away some form of dread or pain or agony. And he's very much traumatized with what he's seen. You know, just like the bodies being burned to ash. It didn't matter that they were wearing armor. Knowing that it's a fight with dragons now and that he's kind of useless if he can't ride one. It's a dragon rider's war. And Aemond knows that. I think Daemon knows that. I think Rhaenyra knows that. I think that there's a lot of people that are still wanting to avoid that. But I think Cole, wow, it was such a great performance. I always want to say his name's Freddie, and I know it's not. It is not what I'm thinking. Fabian. I think about that for a second. He gave a great performance in this episode. He's just very sorrowful and like very like just sad. And I'm just like, oh, is it sad, Kristen Cole? And I actually felt bad for him because he was traumatized by that. I think you can allow a little bit of empathy for him in this moment because this is his first time going to war and seeing battle with dragons and just how destructive they can be. And like where he had a great plan, had it gone through, it would have been a great success, but it was not a great success. You know, Aegon is near death. Oh God, when he says mummy, he just kind of like Daemon, just not having the mother figure that he needs. And Alicent being so scared of Aemond and what he'll do because she knows what he's become. He's a psychopath. But like she was never given the comfort that she deserved and needed. And she almost doesn't know how to give it. Now we only got Helena like saying like one thing in this episode, and really that's all we need to hear from her. I thought maybe we'd get her I don't know, Aegon coming by and her saying something, but you know, saying it to Aemond like was it worth it? Was yowza. So really, I think we're going to see the rebellion of a lot of small folk, that it's going to be really hard to get them in line, pledge fealty, or, you know, to not uprise, because with sick children, no food, not being able to leave, like, you're essentially sentencing them all to death either by starvation, by sickness, you know, fighting and killing each other. You know, and because the Blackwoods and the Brackens, you know, and what the Blackwoods have done to the Brackens, you know, it's going to be really hard to find loyalty with the Brackens now because of what Daemon did. I don't know how we get that back. I know that the North is marching south. This season's either going to end with an amazing battle or a lot of ash. And I have a feeling it's going to be a lot of ash. But guys, if you want to watch full length reaction to this episode, it will be available on my Patreon. In the meantime, like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Definitely a downward trending episode when it comes to action, but like a lot of big character moments and a lot of like mirroring of each other, and how like the same mistakes are happening kind of on both sides in a different way, and kind of an episode where women definitely are not being seen as warriors or not seen as somebody that you can rely on in a time of war. Both Rhaenyra and Alicent are feeling that, and it's not necessarily that they doubt Rhaenyra in a time of war, but like it's essentially a bunch of men going, "We know better. We'll handle this. It's fine." And like that pisses me off, but it might also be true because women weren't taught anything about war. You know, instead of a sword, Rhaenyra held her father's cup. She also did do like